You're no longer blaming anyone else for having caused the pain, so you no longer have to depend on anyone else to make it go away. Hello, loves. You are listening to the Love Life with Court show, and as always, I'm your host, Courtney. If this is your first time tuning into the pod, well, welcome to the family, and if not, here is a warm welcome back. Without further ado, let's get started on today's episode. Hello, loves. As always, I hope you are having the most amazing day. Thank you for tuning in today's episode. To preface, your girl is feeling a little under the weather this morning as I'm recording, so I'm sounding a little nasally. So this episode, we're still showing up, but we're sounding a little nasally. So just a little forewarning. Anywho, today I am really looking forward to talk about our topic and our intentions, which is all about practicing what I have been preaching, what you have started preaching throughout this podcast, and taking everything that you have learned along this journey with me, and now building the connection between understanding and embracing. So today is your day to relinquish control over the past and embrace the future by identifying a new power in your life, which is emotional release techniques. Today will be the last time that we will be allowing the pent-up emotions within us that are no longer serving us, especially those emotions that have been ingrained within us from our childhood, from past relationships, from past traumas. And my hopes and intention for today's episode is to leave you with a 7-step exercise stemming from Deepak Chopra's work to release emotional turbulence. If you want to learn more about this work, I will make sure to include the link in the show notes. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is summarizing this and leaving you with an exercise that you can begin to implement into your day-to-day to really begin your emotional release journey. Because at the end of the day, we all know whatever we allow to harbor within us is a reflection of our current, our past, and our future. You make the decision if you are going to continue to allow the emotions, the trauma, the events, the experiences that have occurred in your past, and if you are going to allow it to affect your future. And this all has to do with the emotions that we allow to harbor within us. And these emotions don't just have an impact on our present and past and future, but it also has a significant impact on our mental and physical health. Everything that is going on emotionally within us does eventually result in physical ailments, setbacks, emotional instabilities, and so forth. So if I already haven't convinced you enough, let's just dive right into the 7-step exercise. Again, it is outlined by Deepak Chopra, who is chef's kiss, has so much insight on healing journeys. And again, I will include the link below if you want to read more about it. So this 7-step exercise first starts with identifying and locating the emotion physically. So what I want you to do is recognize maybe what emotions have really been influencing your days, your weeks, your moments, whatever it is. You may have multiple emotions, but let's just start with one. And this could be something like pent-up anger towards somebody or intense feelings of guilt from the past. Whatever it is, figure out what emotion you are going to focus on, identify, and then locate this emotion physically. Recall some circumstance in the past that was upsetting to you. And it may be a time when you felt like you were mistreated, an argument with your partner, or perhaps a past injustice at work, and identify some instance where you felt emotionally upset. Now for the next 30 seconds, try to picture what actually happened as vividly as you can. And if you need to, try to go outside of your own perspective. So close your eyes, imagine what that incident looked like, and really write the story as if you are on the outside of it. as if you were reporting it for a newspaper. And here, you are the observer watching this event. You're not the event, the argument, or emotional upset. You are merely a witness of what is happening from the perspective of your silent self. Now identify exactly what you are feeling. Put some word on the incident that describes what you're experiencing. So this can be things like mistrust or self-doubt or surprised. It could even be that you just felt so surprised by this experience and didn't expect it coming. And be as precise as you can. Do you feel unappreciated, insulted, treated unfairly? Give the feeling a name. Come up with a word that epitomizes the painful experience and focus your attention solely on that word. Now, once you have identified and locate that emotion physically, really connect with where are you feeling this emotion? Does your stomach begin to feel upset? Do your knees feel weak? It could even be harboring in one of our chakras, and maybe you begin to get a headache, your shoulders, your tailbone, whatever it is, try to connect it to a physical pain or sensation. And once you have identified and located the emotion, number 2 is witness the experience. Gradually allow your attention to move away from the word. Let your attention wander into your body. Become aware of the physical sensations. As I said, become aware of the physical sensations that arise in your body as a result of the emotion you identified. Now, these two elements, an idea in the mind and a physical sensation in the body, are what an emotion truly is. And they can't really be separated. And this is where we go back, touching on that every emotion that we allow to harbor within our body eventually begins to harbor in our body, and it turns to physical sensation, physical ailments, physical effects. They can't be separated. And this is why we call it a feeling, because we feel emotions in our body. Maybe not consciously, but right now is the time to tune into your subconscious. Really connect with what is going on a deeper level. Let your attention pass through your body as you're recalling this experience. Locate the sensation that the memory brings up. It's typically a sensation or pressure in the chest, a tightness in the gut. Some feel as if it's a pressure in the throat. Find where it is in your body that you're feeling and holding the emotional experience. And once you have witnessed the experience, we're going to move to number 3, which is express the emotion. Place your hand on the part of your body where you sense that the feeling is located. Say it out loud. It hurts here. Do it again if you haven't already done it. Grab that part of your body and really mean it. Align with it. It hurts here. If you're aware of more than one location for the pain, move your hand from place to place. At every location, pause for a moment and express what you're feeling. It hurts. It's painful. It's stuck. Here is where I feel the pain. And when you experience physical discomfort, it means that something is unbalanced in your experience. Physically, mentally, spiritually, your body knows it. Every cell in your body knows it. Befriend these sensations and their wisdom, because the pain is actually leading you to wholeness. When we begin to feel the pain of things, this is where we go to the peak. And possibly you have not been ready to feel the peak of these emotions, but now you are safe. You are ready to acknowledge the pain that you have been harboring within your body for far too long. Once you express the emotion, number 4 is take responsibility. Be aware that any painful feelings you experience are your feelings. These feelings are happening inside your body. Your body is reacting with the muscle contractions, hormonal secretions, and other responses within you. Even when the painful incident was occurring in the material world, the effect was entirely within. You had given that incident, that experience, that pain meaning. You have a choice in how you interpret and respond to emotional turbulence. Of course, you do not have a choice on how others will treat you, how things will come up in your life, the experiences that you endure. Sometimes these things are inevitable, but recognizing that this is your choice on how you interpret and respond to these emotions, recognizing this is taking responsibility for your feelings. And this doesn't mean you feel guilty. Instead, it means you recognize your ability to respond to painful situations in new and beautiful ways. By taking responsibility for your feelings, you can also gain the power to make the pain melt away. We've talked about in previous episodes, one of my first few episodes, where it's so crucial to embrace every emotion, good or bad, because eventually what happens is when these emotions that we feel, these incidences, especially if they're reoccurring emotions, maybe separate incidences, but possibly you have a lot of mistrust, a lot of pain, a lot of feeling neglected. And when you continuously suppress the emotion, what happens is that every time this emotion comes up again, it feels stronger and stronger. And we associate these emotions with pain. We associate these emotions with our past. But if we can embrace emotions and no longer look at them as good or bad, but a moment for you to sit in it and recognize what's going on, when incidences like this come up again, because very likely it's inevitable, you begin to feel the pain for a shorter amount of time. You begin to work through it much more easily because you're not also associating it with the events that have become a rippled effect in your life. You're no longer blaming anyone else for having caused the pain, so you no longer have to depend on anyone else to make it go away. Hold that understanding in your consciousness for the next few moments. And when we begin to take responsibility, like I said, number 5, we can now release the emotion. Place your attention on the part of your body where you're holding the pain. And with every exhalation of your breath, have an intention of releasing that tension. And this may be overwhelming for you. It may be very emotional, but for the next 30 seconds, just feel the painful sensation leaving your body with every breath. You are safe. This is a safe space for you to do so. Some people find that making an audible tone that resonates in that part of your body where the pain is localized helps to loosen and lift the contraction away. So this can be like a deep hum, or really anything that just you feel may be harboring within your vocal box, your throat. Just let it out. You can also experiment to discover what works best for you. For some people, singing or dancing does the trick. You may try deep breathing, using essential oils, or taking a long warm bath. And when you have begun to sit in these emotions and release the emotion, number 6 is share the outcome. Sharing the outcome of releasing your pain is important because it activates the new pattern of behavior after the old painful pattern is released. Like I talked about, we are beginning to work through and no longer look at these as good or bad, but a moment to just let it go. Imagine that you could speak to the person who was involved in that original painful incident. What would you say to that person now? I really want you in this moment to bear in mind that this person was not the real cause of your pain. The real cause was your response. In your transformed state, you are now free so you can share what happened without blame, manipulation, or seeking approval. Perhaps they intended to cause you pain, and you may have unwittingly collaborated in that intention. Maybe you would like to say you no longer intend to fall into such traps or give the words of others power. Whatever you say is totally up to you. As long as you have awareness of the steps we've taken so far in this exercise, whatever you say will be right for you. And once you have shared this outcome, I want you to take a moment to celebrate the process. Now you can celebrate the painful experiences that have taken place as the valuable material that helped you move to a higher level of consciousness. The fact that this event happened has given you the power to work through the good, the bad, the light, the heavy. What was a previously disconnected, destructive, and disabled part of your psyche is now integrated and contributing its power towards your greater spiritual goal. And instead of responding to the situation with a pain reflex, perpetuating the problem, you've turned it into an opportunity for, drumroll please, spiritual transformation. And that is something to celebrate. Whatever it is, if you're on your way to work right now, you stop and go get yourself some Starbucks. If you are going grocery shopping, if you're just chilling at home, go get yourself some flowers, order in some food, whatever it is that you want to do to celebrate this process. Take a moment to realize that the growth you have done in the last 15-20 minutes or so. And you may be at a point where it's time to work through a lot of other past experiences. And anytime this comes up for you, first, you're going to identify and locate the emotion physically. Witness the experience. Express the emotion. Take responsibility. Release the emotion. Share the outcome. And celebrate good times. Come on. I love you all so much, and I am so proud of you for taking the time to work through the emotions that have been taking control of your life for far too long. And I'll leave you with this, a friendly reminder to not only be kind